play like an instant chain link 1, and then you, I don't know, activate a monster's effect, chain link 2. If I have something that says target negate, I can completely ignore the stack and target the first instant. I don't care because it's right there. So
Yu-Gi-Oh, however.
It's like casting counter. It's like that's much like Magic, like casting counter spell. You target the thing. But if I'm activating an effect in the graveyard, and then you activate something on the field, and my only negate is a target negate, I have no access to the graveyard because I can't target it.
Oh yeah, because it's not actually.
You can only target things that are on the board unless it says target card in your opponent's graveyard or negate an effect in the graveyard. So
so there's no omnipotent targeting in Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, targeting specifically says where you're. It's something that says target a card on the field, graveyard, etc.
Yeah.
Usually, target means the field, unless it says otherwise. It has to be on the field.
There are omnipresent negates.
But those have to respond directly to the activation of the card.
Those usually have to respond. They have to come right after. So legitimately, like if I'm like let's say I waited.
Can you hold priority? Like, can you activate it?
That used to be a thing more,
and then do another trap before your opponent can respond to it.
That used to be a bigger thing. Priority used to be a much bigger thing in like 2010, 2011ish. So people would go summon this level 6 synchro monster, whatever. If you're not countering the summon, so if the summon resolves, I have priority to use its effect before you do anything that could destroy it. So if I'll summon Judgment Dragon, it's a dragon that says summon it, cool. When it's, I can, at any time during my turn, pay 1,000 life points, wipe the board. So we would go, slam JD. Do you have a response to the summon itself? No, it resolves. Okay, holding priority, pay 1,000 life points. They'll destroy the JD in response,
but the
and their board will still go.
Yeah, the effect's still on stack, basically.
So priority is much less of a thing now. Now it's pretty much almost every action can be responded to, except for like, kind of setting cards.
Yeah.
So that's like putting face downs, right?
Yeah, that's like kind of one of the only things that you, as a player, do not give up priority when you do. But you still kind of give up priority when you do it if they have something that can do something to
set cards.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like there are specific interactions that hold priority hostage. However, they're so specific that they're really just kind of bad. Like they're not important.
Like you have to do too much work to get to something that just says.
There's literally a deck called the Hostage deck that's based around this one trap called Pole Position, which pretty much says, I think it's something like whenever you summon a monster, you change the position of something else, and it's mandatory or something. And there's a deck built where you basically make an infinite mandatory loop that you cannot stop that runs the clock out. It's not a good deck, but it's
so
basically all you do is
so it's like my Jodo deck where you just stall. There's no win con there.
No, there's a win con.
No, they hit you for like 100, and then they do that.
You burn your opponent for any amount of life because the way Yu-Gi-Oh rules work in competitive, when clock runs out, whoever has higher life wins.
There's final phase now. The rules used to be time runs out. All right, whose turn is it? Your turn 0. You get 4 turns, like most other games.
Yeah.
It's like 4 or 5 turns, whatever. They changed those when I believe around when Lynx came out, and like in 2018, 2017, and they were just like, all right, none of that anymore. Now what you get is the time runs out. What phase is it? It's your main phase. You get to finish that.
You get to finish that turn. That is it.
No, you get to finish that phase.
Oh, that phase.
That's all you get. That's all you get.
Damn,
so
my bad.
Now the rules are a lot more strict because it's like, okay.
I'm guessing there were stall decks then, probably.
There's stall players. There's just decks that stall. Like there are decks. There's decks that are good at stalling, and then there's people who like to stall, such as Cash. So like the problem with priority for Yu-Gi-Oh! At least is that pretty much everything can be responded to, unless it's a simultaneous activation. So let's say I have 2 cards on the board, and they both activate when I summon a creature. If I summon a creature, I have priority. First I have
you
effects.
Choose which order that
because they're both simultaneous. I get to choose what order they activate in. So 1 and 2. So I go Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2. If my opponent is responding to the activation, they have to respond to Chain Link 2 because the activation of Chain Link 1 is being blocked on the stack.
Yeah.
If they have a target negate, they can target Chain Link 1 to negate it. Yeah. But that's if it's on the field.
Yeah. That's if it's not some kind of trap that like does its effect and then leaves forward.
Yeah, like
it's not a continuous thing.
Yeah, part of the active because a lot of tracks back then just activated and disappeared, right?
Correct. Yes, but the way that the Chain Link will resolve in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now is pretty much so much easier if I check.
I mean, sorry.
But that's one of the things I don't.
like talking about Yu-Gi-Oh!
But that's one of the things I kind of don't like about it it's why I like the Magic system better, because I can just go, okay, like, if you set up a whole stack of shit, I can just go, all right, I want to respond to the very first thing you did, because I see that that's the problem.
Is free for targeting.
Free for targeting at all times. Like,
I'm waiting until they make a card that says give all cards in the stack shroud.
God.
In
all spells. No, in Magic.
In Magic. Gross. What am I about to say?
So if I play...
There's a way to make it happen.
No, don't tell me that. So if he summons a creature, and I play both of these, so I'll activate this, he'll get a window to respond. If he doesn't have one, I can add on to the stack with this.
But he can't. But once you activate this one, he can't go back to get this one, because
unless he has a target negate.
Yes.
If he has a creature that says you can quick effect target a card on the field, negate its effects, or target a trap on the field, negate its effects, then he can bypass the stack entirely and go, I pick this one.
Yeah.
I want this one to not happen.
However, that's a bit rarer in Yu-Gi-Oh. Most of the negates in Yu-Gi-Oh are just respond to card negate.
Respond directly to the card or negate. Effect activation.
Yeah. Oh, so they're mostly like, if a trap is activated, you counter it.
Or if trap...
It doesn't say target. In that situation, it would be like, since you activated the first one, he didn't respond, you activated the second one.
I cannot go back and respond.
You can't go back and respond to the first one because it doesn't specifically say
that. Because it's essentially they call it chain blocking. It's essentially being blocked on the stack. Like he summons a creature, chain one. He doesn't have response.
But you as the active player don't have the ability to be like, play creature. This shows up and then immediately show this without giving a space for this to.
With this specific trap, no. There are some things that activate in windows like that. Like, I'm trying to think. This is an Edison deck.
What was that interaction where people were using that one Borolo dragon? The his effect said you couldn't respond to it to chain block.
That was Borolo dragon.
Was it just Borolo dragon? Yeah. Where his effect says you can't respond to the activation of this effect.
Yeah, all the Borolos have an effect like that.
Oh, okay.
Borolo and Borolo. So this is one that I can do in Edison. So if I have this on my board...
Hey, look, hang on.
Yeah, if I have this on my board and I tribute it to summon Caius. Caius has an effect on summon. Sangan has an effect when he goes to graveyard. These are happening at the same time. So I, as turn player, who did this...
Oh, wait, so tribute and summoning happen at exactly the same tick?
Well, I tributed this to summon it.
Yeah, but if that has an effect for tributing, and this has an effect for summoning...
This has an effect for hitting grave.
It has an effect when it leaves the board.
But tributing is paying a cost to put into graveyard.
Yes.
So, basically what I'm saying is, this goes to graveyard to get this. Both of these enter stack immediately at the same time.
Yes.
If they have
also, Joshua, I only clarified because some things having an effect when they go to grave and things having an effect when they're tributed are technically two different things.
Are they different timings?
There are cards. There are cards that are worded like that.
Similar timings, different effects. Like Sangan just says when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard. Caius says when this card is tribute summoned. So if I summon Caius and the summon resolves, they don't counter the summon. It resolves, hits the board. I get to choose. I get to stack this triggers how I want. Usually, if it's a mandatory effect, graveyard takes precedence. Graveyard will be chain link 1. Neither of these are, but this is mandatory actually. This is not. So I don't think so. Oh, it is mandatory. So Sangan is mandatory. So what it's going to do is graveyard takes precedence. So chain link 1, chain link 2. Caius has an effect that targets, so I have to choose a target on activation. This is already activated. This is already activated. My opponent can now respond, but if they have a target negate, they can only target Caius. Yeah. And if they have a negate activation, they can only negate Caius because it's being blocked. Yeah. Sangan is being blocked.
Yeah, even if they have an omni negate that can respond to anything, because Caius immediately came after this, I can't go negate this.
Because it's not a target on the field.
It's not a target on the field, and it's not available to them in the stack.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh. So, because they have to have an effect that says target a card... For this specifically, they have to have an effect that says target a card in your opponent's graveyard and negate its effects.
There is a card that could deal with this,
there's cards that do that.
Yeah, that sounds very British.
I'm about to say, there's a card that could deal with this. The problem is that card has been knocked to 1.
There's also, there's other cards that go target, engrave, negate, but they're rare and specific.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that wouldn't be fine in a... do you get a sideboard in Yu-Gi-Oh?
You do. 15 card sideboard.
You get a 15 card sideboard.
Yeah, so even then, you have 75 cards possibly? And and then you have to be running 2 versions of a card that specifically deals with that interaction?
Because
there's... I'm assuming that's more of a control thing. It's not like there's colors in Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's not like...
What I will say for the graveyard, a lot of the graveyard interactions in Yu-Gi-Oh are used specifically for chain blocking effects on the board. because they'll go, okay, I'm going to link away Sengan. Linking is, one of the newer mechanics. I'm going to link away Sengan for this lake monster. This lake monster says on summon, I draw 2 cards. Sengan says on when it's sent to graveyard, I search a card. So I want to draw 2 cards. So I'm going to make Sengan Chainlink 2 and this Chainlink 1.
Yes.
So that Sengan resolves first. I search my deck for a card, thin it out by 1 card, and then draw 2 cards.
Yeah, usually you would get rid of something that says you may, so you can stack the triggers as you please, and you just stack whatever's in the grave first. So that if they have a thing on the board that would usually go Omni Negate, stop this. This is on stack blocking this, so they can't.
So the only thing they can do this is target.
Do you have to reveal the link/tribute when you put Sengan in graveyard?
No, so you reveal them when you place them on the board because they're what's called an inherent summon. So like how in Magic you can play creatures off of spells like Green Sun Zenith, shit like that.
Yeah.
Those they just put it on the board. That's you're putting a creature on the board, or even if you're casting a creature by an effect. When you Green Sun Zenith the creature, it doesn't enter the stack. Right?
Like you don't see the creature.
The creature itself doesn't enter.
Yeah, they don't Green Sun Zenith and reveal the creature. They Green Sun Zenith if it resolves, they slap something on the board.
Yeah. Yes.
So in Yu-Gi-Oh, if I have a Sengan and I have priority as the player, I can just go. And if that summon doesn't resolve, Sengan still hit my graveyard. Sengan can still activate. Because these are inherent summons or summons that are performed by player action and like by game mechanic and not by card effect.
Okay.
Like for example, tribute summoning. That's an inherent summon.
A better example of inherent summon and why it can be really strong. Kaijus are a thing in Yu-Gi-Oh that say you special summon it by tributing a monster on your opponent's board, but you give them the Kaiju. You cannot negate that summon because that is an inherent summon.
It doesn't enter the stack.
Yeah,
it doesn't start a stack. It doesn't enter a stack.
It doesn't start a stack for you to Kaiju someone else's monster, so you can't really respond to a Kaiju. Like you just lose that monster.
In any summon in Yu-Gi-Oh that pretty much every extra deck monster is an inherent summon except for fusions. Most fusion monsters are not inherent summons because they're summoned off of effect.
You have to show like polymerization or something like that, right?
For most fusion monsters, you have to use a different effect to summon the creature.
Yeah, that's known information to make a creature.
Yeah.
Versus
like if I play Branded Fusion says I can fuse using monsters in my deck as long as one of them is a specific monster. So I play Branded Fusion. He has a chance to respond. If he doesn't, I just go in my deck, put the 2 monsters in graveyard, and slap something on the board.
No. Maybe those 2 monsters, do they have some extra effect that they do in grave that I don't get to know about prior because I didn't respond to that?
So
yes,
that's correct. So if you do a Branded Fusion and the 2 creatures you get to put together have an effect that when they hit graveyard, that would be link 1, link 2.
If both of them have effects in grave, let's say I Branded Fusion, summon a fusion monster. If my fusion monster has an effect on fusion summon, and these have effects, I can link this up however I want.
Yes.
And okay.
And
that is implying that this summon resolves.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's off of
a fusion spell.
Off a fusion spell. So if they don't respond to the fusion spell,
you get the creature. You're
going to get the creature, and more than likely, if this has an effect on board that you want to resolve, you're going to get that effect because you're going to resolve this first. Say the things in this resolve in front of it. Therefore, they can't use whatever Omni Negate they have on board to respond to that.
They have to target negate, and I cannot emphasize how much target negate is scarce.
It's scarce. Yeah. Also, it's in most cases it's bad. And like outside of this, it's
there's
not
like 3 cards that are good with it, and it's almost always monsters.
Yeah.
There's almost nothing that says target negate a spell or trap.
Yeah.
It's almost always there's like infinite impermanence, effect veiler, and like one other.
Aren't they like trap cards that just negate other trap cards?
Yes.
Yes.
Trap Jammer, Royal Decree, Trap Stun.
I remember
do that. They exist.
So like
they're not always
the stack in Yu-Gi-Oh it's not really like a shared tool. It's the tool of whoever can take advantage of it the best. In Magic it's kind of the same, but in Magic the stack is still always open to everyone.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of like a bus station where it's open to everyone, but you still need a ticket to ride.
Yeah. There's also the thing with Yu-Gi-Oh where after the stack starts resolving, you can't add to it.
Yeah, that's the biggest part.
So if I go Chainlink 1, so I Branded Fusion, send 2 monsters. Make this. Chainlink 1, my monster effect. Chainlink 2, my grave effect. Chainlink 3, my other effect. You have a response?
Yes.
He responds, he stops my third one.
Yeah, cool.
Do I have a response to him stopping it? No. He stops this, these 2 resolve.
Stack it begins to resolve. My effect goes through to stop this. Okay. This tries to resolve. Can't because it was negated. Alright, cool. We are no longer interacting with the stack. It is now just resolving.
So you don't.
And after it's done, he has a chance to respond at resolution. I have a chance to respond at resolution. If neither of us do, it's open game state. I can go back to playing my turn.
Yes, correct.
So you only get really 2 chances in a stack battle. It's when a stack is created.
It's however many responses you have.
Yes,
I've seen chain links go up to 15.
So 15? Your only chance to respond in a stack is once the stack has started.
Once it's created.
Once it's created, and if your opponent adds anything to it,
or if you add anything to it.
Yes,
so if you activate something to get rid of something,
then he can.
And then you activate something again due to getting rid of something.
Yes.
Yeah. So if I go,
let's just say he does
same thing.
Yeah.
Grand Diffusion.
He
attempts to negate this.
Yeah. He now has a chance to add to the stack. And then when he responds, I now have a chance to add to the stack.
If I choose not to respond,
So my question here is, if you have something to deal with this one, but if that thing that you use to get rid of this one causes something else to trigger, could you add that also into it?
It depends on the effect, because some effects I will activate at resolution of the effect that causes them to trigger, and some will respond directly to the activation of whatever causes them to trigger.
Correct.
So it depends if the player has
it depends
the
on the
ability to actually. It depends on it's player-based activation or just a effect on the field.
Yeah, so there's one of the best archetypes in the game right now is Kashtira. All their monsters have things where when your opponent activates a monster effect, do X thing. They can't. So if I activate this monster effect, they can't respond directly to me activating it. They have to respond to resolution. Oh. Because me activating the effect has to enter and leave the stack, and then in the next chain they can go chain link 1 Kashtira.
Also, because most of them say. Like the effect has to resolve. So let's say I'm about to say, can't they not do that if the effect gets negated?
No, the activation has to resolve.
Yeah.
As long as you don't negate the activation, it's fine.
Yeah.
If you just negate the effect, it's fine. If you Valor it or something, it's fine.
Yeah.
So those are the bigger things that you get is when the stack starts resolving, you cannot interact with it. Period.
You're done.
If I go chain link 1, 2, 3, he goes chain link 4. Or if chain link 1, 2, 3, he goes chain link 4. I don't like that. I go chain link 5. He doesn't like that. He goes chain link 6. If I have nothing for chain link 6, this all just happens.
Or if he doesn't want to invest anything else in that stack, let's say I don't respond. Let's say I don't respond to the stack because I don't know what's happening,
or don't care,
or feel like I won't care about what's happening. Okay, resolves. So begins resolving. Let's say this first effect, the effect that's resolving first, throws something in the grave, and I immediately notice, these things that got thrown in the grave, that's going to be a fucking problem. My only time to respond is after all of this is resolved. Usually, after all of this is resolved, there's nothing else for me to be done about it now. It's over.
I mean, there's things you can do at res, there's at resolution before open game state comes in, where I can play spell speed 1 things, like sorceries and stuff. He can do something with a quick effect, but if he gives me back open game state, I can activate whatever I want, attempt to move phases, attempt to swing.
Yeah, basically when priority passes back to player.
Yeah, it's much harder to respond.
I mean, it sounds complicated, but it's not actually.
It's not.
It's not actually complicated. The problem is learning the nuances of doing it to other people.
Yeah.
Because I've had people go, I'll summon something, I'll go chain link 1, 2, 3, and they'll respond, and they'll be holding another response because they expect me to care about that, and I really don't. And if I don't respond, the window doesn't go back to them; it just resolves.
That's
so. If they activate this and then they go, "Okay, do you have a response?" and they don't stack their other response right behind it, I can just go, "Okay, I don't care about that." Resolves because I didn't pass it. I had priority and I relinquished it back to the game, so it starts resolving.
Because sometimes people do. Because sometimes people.
So that's how. So the player that initiates this act has initial priority, passes to its opponent. The opponent then has priority. If they don't do anything. It goes back to primary player, and primary player does nothing immediately.
Pretty much. So
it's not even about primary player. It's about whoever had the stack last. Because if he does this, and then I respond, and he doesn't care about this, I don't get it back. It's just gonna go.
Yeah. Okay. So these things come in, right?
Whoever. It doesn't bounce back. Okay.
Yeah. So let's say this happens, right? Okay. Cool. If I don't respond, goes off. Okay, cool. If I do respond, I have a window to throw any of my other responses on it. But let's say I don't want to because I'm thinking something that he's put on board already is going to trigger another effect that I'm just going to respond to then, right? That's why. So I'm holding that response. If he doesn't care about this card, he just goes, all right, cool, resolve stack. I now still have to worry about whatever he has left, and it's going to be a whole separate chain. Huh. This card might not be as effective in that new chain.
The highest chain link I've seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Go to is 27. God damn.
Jesus, fuck, what the fuck they do?
Tier.
Oh, right, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough, right.
That was the highest chain they could ever seen you go to, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is full of effects that say when this card is sent to graveyard, when this card is sent to graveyard, when this card is sent to graveyard, and then there was a mill deck in format. So they would just go, I'm going to mill 20 cards. Alright. Chain link 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 16, your turn. Anything?
You got anything? No? You don't have anything that can respond to this?
Yeah, in response to that, I'd like to mill myself for 8 cards. Now my chain link 1, 2, 3.
Alright, cool. I'm gonna just add like fucking 8 cards to the stack.
Like there's a card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Called That Grass Looks Greener, where it's a spell card that says, hey,
so good.
Because most people play like around 40 card decks, but there was a format where people would play 60 card decks, which is the max, because That Grass Looks Greener said, alright, he's playing a 42 card deck, I'm playing a 60 card deck. He drew 5, I drew 5. He's got 37 left in deck, I've got 55 left in deck. That Grass Looks Greener says, I mill my deck until I have the same number of cards as him.
I hear the grass is greener.
That grass is green.
And then it triggers all of my stuff.
Yeah.
Anything that says when it goes to do a thing, I'm going to do 30
Oh, look,
of those.
is the game still going somehow after I've milled all these cards? That, mind you, That Grass is green was at 3. Oh, look, he played Pot of Desires twice for some reason. Trying to draw cards to out whatever
Pot
out
of Desires banishes the top 10 cards in your deck. It exiles top 10 and you draw 2.
So Pot of Greed with downside.
Yes.
That is a cost.
Yes, it has cost.
So balanced Pot of Greed.
But realize, another 12 cards left his deck off of just that. He does it again. Another 24 cards have left his deck. I will now That Grass is Greener again. To throw 20 more cards into the grave.
I missed that card.
Because I can. Fuck you.
That card was a problem back then. I think it would still be a problem now, just because of how the game's developed, but I missed that card. That
card was crazy.
That card was fun.
You know what card never deserves to come back? Soul Charge. Fuck that card. Card was insane.
And what if I told you could pay 10 life per creature to revive as many creatures as you wanted from your graveyard?
That sounds pretty decent. It sounds like a Command the Dreadhorde-esque kind of card.
Yeah. Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
Fuck that card.
I wouldn't even equate it to 10, honestly. Because that's still way less than Yu-Gi-Oh!
You get 8,000.
It's technically 1/8 of your life, so 500.
Yeah. So let's say it was 5.
Five.
You're paying 5.
Yeah.
For every creature you want to revive out of your grave.
Problem difference is Yu-Gi-Oh! Is you have a creature limit.
Yeah.
Let's say you can bring back max 6 creatures. 5 creatures.
You have a creature limit in your deck now?
No, you have a creature limit board limit. You have a board limit.
Oh, okay.
So let's say that spell said you can only bring back 5 creatures.
5 creatures.
You pay 5 per.
Let's even go do rule 6 if the card was relevant today.
Well, you can't summon something to the extra monster zone from graveyard.
Okay.
So 5.
Oh, no, I didn't know that actually. I've never tried, so I wouldn't know.
So
but
okay, yeah. 5 creatures, 5 life per.
5.
So like 25 life to just
is max you could pay into it.
Is it any from any
creature?
graveyard?
Any creature.
Your graveyard.
Any creature out of your graveyard. Out of your graveyard. Any creature.
That sounds pretty easy.
Yeah.
Soul Charge was a really good card. It was broken.
Does that include? It's not star cost then, right? It's just any creature.
No, any creature. As long as it wouldn't go against the summoning conditions of the creature.
If the creature itself says this card cannot be special summoned except by a different thing, you can't ignore that. But
anything else, like literally, you could drop an Xyz, Synchro, Fusion, whatever the fuck, didn't matter.
Yeah, like if these were in my graveyard, I could just go, okay, I want this one, this one, this one.
So stars didn't matter then?
No, stars didn't matter.
No, it just said pick 5 creatures. It said pick creatures.
It basically just and pay any amount of life you wanted to.
Yeah, Soul Charge was 1,000
wasn't the only drawback to like Soul Charge.
You can't attack with that thing.
Yeah, you can't do battle phase. So you just grab 5 disruptions
and go. You lose a combat step for that turn.
Yeah, you just grab 5 disruptions and go. Okay, attempt to play the game now, opponent.
Yeah, but there's like monsters that are basically invulnerable to damage, aren't
Yes, there are.
Yes, correct.
There's also monsters that actively negate damage.
Correct.
It's great.
Literally, you would just summon 5 monsters and go. All right, you may now.
I learned actually a couple of days ago. No, actually Sunday. I learned that people don't value their life in Yu-Gi-Oh nearly enough, because I was playing against John or different John. I was playing against. He was playing Gold Pride Punk. And he made his full board. He was playing Cashiers, and he made a full board with like Baron, 2 traps, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm playing Dinos, and I Lightning Stormed him, and I got rid of a couple things. And I was playing. He was gonna die somehow, you know. But I was just trying to figure out the best way to kill him. And I went, okay, because he's playing Punk, so he pays 600 per effect.
Yeah.
He paid down to 3,600. and I was playing, but he had like a full board, and I didn't really have easy access to Conductor. Like I had it, but if he had Ash, I had a problem.
Yeah.
So I was trying to make a negate first.
Yeah.
So I went, okay, I'm gonna make Zulkin. I'm gonna set Double Evolution Pill, Zulkin effect, summon a level 7 or 8 Dragon Synchro from my extra deck. He goes, okay, I was gonna summon Crystal Wing, so I can negate Ash if he had it.
Yeah.
And I looked at my extra deck, and I was like, oh wait, I play Scarlet.
Just play Starlight real quick.
I had 4 monsters besides Scarlet, and he had 6 monsters. So I was just like, Scarlet effect? And he was like, what does it do? I was like, I think you just... Do you have like a Veiler or anything? Because he had no back row. He's like, I don't... No, I don't. Okay, you just lose.
You lose.
Scarlet is a dragon that says on your turn, you destroy...
Is it like a Rakdos charm?
You destroy all... Essentially, you destroy everything on the board that has less or equal attack than him besides himself, and then your opponent takes 500 per each.
Yeah.
Including your
creatures.
So I had 4, and he had 6. They all had equal or less attack than him. So... You do math.
He took 3,000. Yeah, he took 3,000, and then this had... Does Scarlet have 35 or something?
33,000.
Yeah, 3,000.
He took more than 3,000.
No, you take 5,000.
Because it's 500 per. And I had 4 and he had 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Sorry.
It'll be 5,000.
5,000. Yeah,
that's just straight kills.
That's straight kills
by itself, right?
Yeah, because I mean,
without even a swing.
The Punk deck that he was playing, they usually benefit off paying life. They draw cards and they summon bigger monsters, which he did. I'm playing dinosaurs. My monsters are bigger than all of yours, and they will always be bigger than all of yours.
What about to say? He's playing the equivalent of a big green stompy deck.
I was like,
I got
elephants.
You got to think more than green stompy, yes, but I'm saying you're playing the Yu-Gi-Oh equivalent.
You said you were playing dragons, right?
I was playing dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
I summoned a dragon.
He summoned a dragon. He was playing dinosaurs. What about to say? No. That's also a thing in Yu-Gi-Oh. Attacks differ a lot in Yu-Gi-Oh because in Yu-Gi-Oh you can't attack your opponent directly if they have creatures on the board.
Yeah.
Like there are specific creatures that go, okay, you can swing directly into your opponent, ignoring monsters on board. But usually those things are like tiny.
They're
unblockable.
They usually just have an effect that says, "Woo! I do something because I hit your opponent."
Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't even have a blocking phase. It's these are my creatures. Hit them or don't.
Hit them, or you can't hit me. Also,
here's my wall.
Also, the way damage works in Yu-Gi-Oh, it goes, okay, creatures do battle. Who higher attack? All right, higher attack. Everything almost has trample basically.
Yeah. Well, in attack position, right?
Oh, in attack position.
Yeah, in attack position, yes, correct. That's what I mean. Like everything almost has trample in attack position. Like damage will go through. Well, of course, we have our own actual version of trample, piercing damage.
Yeah.
But
I don't really know about piercing.
I mean, the main weird thing about Yu-Gi-Oh that people think is weird is that damage doesn't persist at all, even through combat step.
Well, yeah, because they heal up immediately.
Yeah, they don't even take damage. It's just my number's bigger than yours. Yours is gone.
Yours is now gone. Goodbye. He did the death. Because defense doesn't matter in Yu-Gi-Oh unless you're in defense position.
Oh yeah, but I mean, are there still those defense turtle decks where you just kind of sit there and
you just make big wall creatures?
I mean, there's stun decks and stall decks.
Oh, that's a stall deck?
Kinda, yeah. You know, really,
I mean, like from what I remember, there was like they played a lot of defense cards. They made both players draw cards until they had a deck and I didn't.
Where you just sit on creatures with like massive defense.
Yeah,
you can still do that. It just doesn't work as well now in today's format because
I mean,
there are a lot of things.
She just said there's a creature that said kill everything that.
That's what I'm saying.
So
that's what I'm saying. Like there are things like that.
You're thinking of like a Towers deck, which is the closest you would get. A Towers is just any big creature that says is unaffected by all card effects.
Yes, correct.
So the only way you can deal with it is by inherent game action, like with a Kaiju, like he was talking about, or
punching it.
But usually most towers are huge, like 6K, 5K attacks, something.
Yeah.
So they just sit there and they're just like handle it.
Sit there. You will not destroy me by card effects, and you cannot fight me either.
Yeah, that's why kaijus and stuff are usually
correct.
Oh, because kaiju's essentially an edict effect. You trade their creature for another creature that's probably less powerful.
Yeah, that's correct. It's essentially a vanilla. It's just a stat. It's just a stick. Yeah. It doesn't have any really relevant effect for them. So.
There are ways to get around dealing with
There's one way to get around dealing with a kaiju.
Yeah.
What? That it's
a floodgate. It says it's massive restrict. Creatures cannot be tributed.
Or the creature you have on board itself says it cannot be tributed, but that's rare.
It's very rare. It doesn't. Kaijus are like a very necessary evil. Like, I used to hate them. They're fine.
I hated them back when they first got introduced because they weren't a necessary evil yet. They weren't exactly a necessary thing.
As the game's gotten better.
As the game's gotten better, like they've become necessary.
I'm happy to see someone kaiju.
I'm happy they exist now, but like back when they first came out, all people were doing were going, okay, you have something on your board that is slightly inconvenient for me. I'm going to tribute it. Also, I have things that will now steal this thing back from you, so you don't even get to keep that.
Oh, the Gilded Drake. Player.
Pretty much. That's how it was when they first came out. And I was like, this is annoying as fuck. Gross.
Yeah, like especially since like a kaiju can essentially just steal one of your extra deck monsters, right?
Yeah,
that's correct.
It says it's tribute any monster your opponent controls. The thing is, they can only control one. Each player can only control one kaiju.
Yes.
So you can't just keep doing it unless you're getting rid of that first one somehow. Yeah. But they're also not once per turn. So people will go, kaiju your thing, bounce the kaiju back to my hand because it returns to the owner's hand. Do it again.
Yes, correct. Do it again. Pick your board.
Tribute the kaiju that you gave them?
What do you mean?
Yes. Wait, like, so they give them another kaiju? No. Because technically, the action of you giving them that kaiju, they still have one. So you can't make that action.
So the stack doesn't work with, like, kaiju, no kaiju.
No.
Okay, so
kaiju
because the act of summoning
checks
at the same time.
Yeah, so. Basically the act of summoning checks. Is there kaiju on board?
Is there kaiju?
Yes.
Game state?
Cannot.
Okay.
Yeah, but all kaijus have an effect of if your opponent controls a kaiju, you can summon a kaiju to your board.
Yeah. So basically, I could go. Hey, I'm going to give you this 22 attack beater
turtle.
Yeah, the turtle. It's turtle instead of your big scary monster.
I'm gonna give you Gamera. Here you go.
Yeah. Do you choose the position it comes in?
Yes.
You do choose the position it comes in.
Yes, I'm gonna give you Gamera, and then I'm gonna special summon Godzilla because I can. He's gonna fuck your turtle in the ass.
Yeah, the kaiju, they're literally direct references to actual kaiju. Godarla is Mothra, Dogaron is Godzilla, Gameciel is Gamera.
Yeah.
There's a robot one. Jizukuru is a giant alien like a warship. Thunder King, the Lightning Strike Kaiju is Ghidorah.
Would you say the Fire Kaiju is Godzilla?
Dogaron's Godzilla.
Yeah.
There's a giant bug. That's the giant spider. I don't know, Kumongus.
Yeah. And then you got
Radiant, the multi-dimensional Kaiju is like a interplanar monster.
Would you say the wind one is the
Ghidorah is Mothra.
Yeah, it's Mothra. Yeah. Yeah, Kaiju's existing.
I miss Cradle Kaiju.
No, I don't. That's the thing I was referencing. Where they so Gradles were just these other little tiny monsters that had effects that would say, "Hey, if this thing swung into me, I steal it permanently."
Oh wait,
that was back when the game was much slower and people would just set 2 and they'd just be like, "All right, I'm gonna punch your thing." It's like, "All right, give me your thing." What? Give me your thing.
That was my first experience with Kaijus, which is why I hated them so much because I was like, that is annoying as.
Yeah, Patrick's hatred of his cards being stolen from him started in Yu-Gi-Oh!
It started in Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, it didn't start in Magic. It started in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Now he just doesn't like it.
I just don't like it now because it's just like, bro, like, give me my shit. Like, I paid for that.
Literally plays Insurrection in his deck.
Yeah. Look, because you have a chance. I'm giving you a chance to respond to that. If you stop that thing from going to from leaving my board with the +1/+1 counter, you're good. Then you have plenty of space to interact with that. You're fine.
Sure.
I don't know how much space you think that got.
It's a sorcery.
I think you mean counterspell.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
it's a sorcery. Okay. Are you referencing to all my non-blue players? You and Grixis, you have blue. You can protect the interaction if you want to.
It's an 8-drop spell, sir.
Sir, you play Phyrexian Altar.
You play Phyrexian.
Just saying.
You play Phyrexian Altar and you play Solemn.
Just saying for reference, it is an 8-drop spell, sir.
Yeah, I'll put it in our set.
I do have to drop a bunch of mana. Because you throw it in the grave. You just play for free.